Okay, then moving on from our animal nature and the poor animals, we go to what is called the Asura realm. The Asuras and the gods, the god realm, the Deva realm. Okay, the Asuras are a kind of godlike being. They're very beautiful, and they have bodies of light, and actually they have everything they want. They're like a lower god realm, a lower Deva realm. Their problem is, in their realm, is it shown? Their realm is this realm here, up there, on that side, 10 minutes to. Right? Their problem, as you can see if you look here, is that they have a wish-granting tree growing in the Asura realm. They have this beautiful tree which gives us everything we desire. We just pluck it off. Unfortunately, this tree, which has deep roots in the Asura realm, nonetheless grows all the way up, and the actual branches and fruit are in the Deva realm. So the Asuras can't get it. Now, is that fair? Their roots are in the Asura realm, and the trunk is in the Asura realm. How is it they're not getting any fruits? Is all the trouble is with those gods. They're taking our fruits because this is our tree. It's not their tree. How dare they? So the fact that the Asuras have so much means nothing to the Asuras because they are consumed by jealousy of the gods who have what they think is their right, which is the fruits of this wish-fulfilling tree. So as a result, they are always at war with the gods. So you can see them here, right? Can you see? There's a whole row of them. They've all got bows and arrows, right? And they're fighting the lower gods. So their problem is, again, that although they have so much, you can see they have this nice house, and they have birds, and they have everything they want. They're like a lower celestial realm. They're perfectly okay. They've got everything they need. But they don't have what they think is their right. And as a result, they are consumed by envy and jealousy. And they can't appreciate what they've got because somebody's got something more. And that more should be mine. Why is it theirs? So this is, again, a kind of mentality where you have so much, I have so much, like business people. They already have so much and maybe a whole empire, but somebody else has something else over there and they want to do a takeover, right? So whatever it is, or I already have a nice house and I have everything I want, but my neighbor has got the latest something or other. And so therefore what I have doesn't count because I want what they've got. They've got a bigger car than me. Why have they got a bigger car than me? Because I should have that big car. And it's only because I've had a bit of unfortunate trouble in my life that I don't have that nice big car, but they shouldn't have that car because I need it. And so what you've got you don't care about. You're only consumed by envy and jealousy of somebody who's got more. And you think you're entitled to that more. Why did they get that promotion? I work much harder than they do, and I'm more intelligent, I got more qualifications. Why were they promoted above me? And so even though you've got a good job and you have enough money and everything's okay, you can't appreciate it and enjoy it because somebody's got something more that you think you're entitled to. Do you understand? So that's that kind of mentality. And so they suffer because they're never going to get the tree, which karmically belongs to the God realm. But in the meantime, they suffer because what they've got is meaningless because they don't have what they want. So, this is a very common and especially nowadays, a very common mindset that people have, that outwardly you look at them, they've got so much, but because there's something which they don't have, which they think they should have, they can't appreciate what they've got. So this is why, again, appreciation is very important. And gratitude for what we do have, and to hell with what we don't have. What difference? This is it can take people over. You talk to, especially to business people, and their whole mind is on taking over something which somebody else has, because they can't bear that they've got it. And they must have it for themselves. And so always wanting to get bigger and more and overtake something else. And so whatever you've got, it's never going to be satisfying, because somebody else has something that I want that. So it's a very, very destructive mindset. And it's a very sad mindset, because no matter what we have, we're never satisfied, because somebody always is going to have more, whoever. I mean, there's always going to be something else which we could feel ourselves entitled to. Why haven't I got that? If we think, so what, may they be well and happy and enjoy it. I mean, if the Asuras say, well, it's true they've got that, but nonetheless we already have so much, so, obviously they have good karma, enjoy, we'll get on with our lives, they wouldn't be Asuras. They'd all get reborn in the Deva realm. But because they can't do that, because they are completely overwhelmed by their jealousy and hatred of the gods for having something that the Asuras don't have. Therefore, they suffer and they cause constant agitation and wars. Look at the countries. Why are we at war? Everybody's at war with something else. You already have a huge territory, mate. Why do you need that bit over there? Because somebody else has that, and I want it. Right? I mean, look at nations, that's how they go to a war. I remember when England was at war over the Falklands with Argentina. I mean, where the hell's the Falklands? But we had to go to war about it. It's pathetic. And then people die, it's not, war is no joke. And it doesn't benefit the soldiers who are fighting. Who gets Falklands, who doesn't? Doesn't even benefit the government, really, because once they've got it, they've forgotten it again. Where the Falklands? So this frame of mind is this Asuric frame of mind, always wanting more and more, especially if somebody else has it. I've got to have it, it's got to be mine, is a very, very big problem in the world, because it not only disturbs our own consciousness, but as I say, on an international level, that's how governments think. And they always want to take over more and more and more territory, whether or not they're entitled to it or not. They can always think up reasons why they should be entitled to it. And, everybody suffers. So, I mean, it's a serious frame of mind, which, politics encourages very much. I mean, that's why we're always having wars, since the beginning. Okay, then we come up to the top, 12 o'clock. This is the God realm. Now, there are, as I said, 26 levels of God realms. 26, Monty? They start with quite sensual kinds of God realms. Very similar. The lower God realm, the ones which are fighting with the Asuras, are very akin to the Islamic idea. You have 21 pink-footed nymphs. I mean, you can see these texts were written by the boys. You have all these virgin nymphs around you. I mean, I think for many women, the idea that they would get reborn and be surrounded by 21 virgin male nymphets would be more like a hell realm than a heaven. Be that as it may, the lower realms are considered to be very sensual desires, all your sensual desires. You have a body of light. I mean, in all these higher realms, you have bodies of light, so you don't get sick, you don't get ill. You're all very beautiful. And so it's very nice, you know, and you can have what you want. You have this tree which fulfills all your desires, a wish-fulfilling tree which the asuras want. And so any kind of, you know, any kind of flavor of ice cream, you just have to think it up and it will present it for you. So, I mean, it's, you know, a sensory paradise. And so that's one of the lower heavens. And each heaven, as it goes up, becomes more and more subtle and rarefied. So it starts at a very gross level of what most people's idea of paradise would be, you know, very sensual. And then gradually they become more and more refined. So, for example, in Tushita, which is the place where the future Buddha, Maitreya, is staying, is much more refined than these lower heavens, which are run by these lower gods like Indra. And then so they go up, and then there are levels which are called the Brahma realms, which again the gods there are androgynous. There's no male or female. They're more like angels, really. They are bodies of light, and they're very much more refined. They're not interested in eating and drinking and partying. They're very much more refined realms, corresponding with the various levels of meditational absorptions, the jhanas. And then beyond that, other realms of higher non-physical manifestations, where it's mind only, consciousness only, and there's no physical. So all these different levels of phenomena are depending on the mental refinement of the beings living in it. They become more and more refined as they go. I mean, so it's imagined as being one on top of the other, but I mean, it's really just a matter of the lower heavens are mostly because of good deeds, being a kind person, being very generous, not doing anything very bad, and in general being a kind, good, generous, nice person. Then you get reborn in these lower heavens, but you're still a very worldly person. As in the meditation, your mind becomes more refined and more subtle. So likewise, these celestial realms become more refined and more subtle, until finally there's no physical embodiment at all. After you've gone through the body of, you know, androgynous bodies of light, then onto no form at all, just purely mental consciousness in deep levels. So you can get very high up to, infinite universal consciousness. But it's all impermanent. When the karma for that finishes, you come down. It's not liberation. You're still in the wheel. Right? So even heavenly realms, however incredibly subtle they may be, they are still part of the wheel of birth and death. You have to come back down. And imagine, I mean, even if you're on one of the lower heavens, then you've had this body of light, you're so beautiful, and you know, everybody's beautiful. And then they describe it that after a while, suddenly the flowers you're wearing start to wilt, your body starts to break out in sweat, you start to feel a bit achy, and the other gods recognize that your time to depart is gone, is drawing to an end, so they pull back. It's rather poignant. As you're dying, you're getting, you know, more and more old and disembodied. Then from a distance they throw flowers and you know, chant verses of auspiciousness, but they can't go near you because now you stink. And then you get, you know, you leave that realm. And then you, even if you get reborn as a human, imagine you've been a god for the how many, you know, such a long, long time, and then suddenly you're stuck in a womb. You know, I mean, terrible. Imagine what it must be like to have been, you know, a being of light, and then suddenly you're embodied. And that's the best you can hope for, is to come back in the human birth. And I mean, terrible, stuck for, you know, especially the kind of things your mother's likely to get up with into the meantime. And then you have to go through getting born and going through the birth canal and then being a little baby and spewing everywhere and ugh. So, the lifetime in the realm of the gods is considered to be enormously long, but I think it's a bit like in Narnia. If you read Narnia, C.S. Lewis's Narnia, that the characters, when they go through the wardrobe, think that they're living whole lives, growing up, getting old, but when they come back into the other realm, into our ordinary human realm, it's just a few seconds. And, you know, they're in a whole different dimension of time there. And I think this is true also of the God realms and the hell realms. Time is a very personal thing. And our understanding of time is very limited by the kind of consciousness we have. And I think in those realms, probably it seems like enormously long length of time, which perhaps measured by human terms is not so long at all. Who knows? I mean, one doesn't know. But I suspect that it probably seems very, very long to them. But in our terms, it's probably not, or it doesn't seem to take up that much time.